Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Today's beer is from the Kiuchi Brewery out of Japan. This is their Japanese classic ale. This is in their Hitachino Net series. This is a 7%er. Paris sent me this from out in California. Paris, thanks again, bro, for sending me these beers. I do appreciate it. This thing says on the label here, matured in cedar cask. And that's, from what I've read, that's what they use to age the sake. Let's go get a commercial description on this one. It says here, Hitachino Japanese Classic Ale is brewed following the original India Pale Ale brought to Japan in the 19th century. It is slowly matured in cedar casks, which are commonly used in the brewing of traditional Japanese sake. Like I said, it says 7.5% here on the rate beer, but it only has 7% written on the label, so I believe the label here. Beer Advocate says it's an English IPA. And it says year-round availability on this one, guys. The food pairings for this one, cuisine is curried and Indian. The cheeses are your nutty Asiago, Colby, Parmesan, Sharp, and Blue, and Cheddar. And the meat is shellfish for this. Glassware is a pint, Becker, the tumbler, the mug, the stein, the sidel. I've got the pint glass. And it says not recommended for extended cellaring unless it exceeds average range. Well, it does, but it's considered an IPA. So you wouldn't want to cellar that unless it's boozy, in my opinion. A lot of people like to cellar their doubles and imperials if they're boozy. I'm not a big fan of cellaring IPAs or even the double IPAs. I like to drink them as fresh as possible to get that pungent hop presence and not let it fade over time unless it's boozy like Hop Slam was last year. Alright, and I haven't got my hands on this year, as they keep telling me week after week. It's next week, it's next week, it's next week. Well, other people around the country are enjoying it and reviewing it. I don't know what's up with the beer distribution in Virginia. It sucks. It sucks out loud. So, alright, let's get the cap off of this one and see what this one's about. Paris, thanks again, buddy, for sending this out. Into the glass we go. Alright, and they do some kind of weird dating on here. This one actually has J1308. So, if I was guessing, and it would purely be a guess, that this is done the 8th month of 2013. So, there it is in the glass. It got us a good finger of head over into the light. It is a deep amber color. A lot of bubbles streaming up. I don't see any kind of floaties or junk floating around in it. It looks fairly clear. I cannot see the bulb through it, so it's not perfectly clear, but I can see the light through the glass. So it looks really good in the glass. And English IPAs are not quite as pungent as the American versions. They're a little more subdued. This is a 7%er, so it shouldn't be quite subdued in the alcohol department anyway. So let's get a nose on it. Yes, I'm getting a floral, herbal, hop presence in this. Got a sweet smell to it, a nice malt backbone. And there is a woody, cedarish presence to the nose. Smells very sweet though. I don't have the IBUs listed for this one, I don't think. We'll take a quick look here. No, it does not say. But judging from the nose, it doesn't smell like it's very bitter at all, but that could be deceiving. So let's give it a taste and see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Parrish. Thanks, brother. Definitely a woody, cedary presence to this. A nice, sweet, malty taste. Floral hops. I'd say they use some kind of European hops. Saz, Tetanang, Hallertau, something like that. Smells very good. Tastes very good. Got a nice, sweet taste. Doesn't taste bitter whatsoever. It's not overly sweet, though. A very nice balanced beer. Very nice for the English IPA. Not getting any alcohol for 7%. Very well made. I've been usually impressed. There's only been one of them that I have not been impressed with. But all the rest of them that I've got my hands on have been fairly nice. If I was in Japan, I would definitely be drinking this beer. Not this particular one, but this brewery's beer. They seem to know what they're doing. Very nice, very malty, very enjoyable. Guys, let's let it warm up. It's 40 degrees out of the fridge, and we'll come back and do the final chug, but fairly impressive. Not blowing my hair back or my socks off or anything, but it is a very well-made, tasty English IPA. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little bit left here. This is pretty tasty. I mean, I've not been disappointed really from the Kiuchi Brewery out of Japan. Just about everything that I've had from them has been pretty good. So let's do the final chug. Woody, floral hops, maltiness. It's got a really nice sweet malt backbone to this beer. Not too bitter. Well made, balanced, very tasty, very fitting for the English IPA as far as I'm concerned. Just my opinion now. It's not that in your face hot profile like the American IPAs are, but very malty, very balanced, not bitter. I don't know what the IBU is on this beer. I would say it's probably in the 50s or 60s. Don't think it would be up in the 70s at all because it's not bitter whatsoever. It's got a nice sweetness to it, so very pleasant. From what I hear though, these are kind of pricey, depends on where you get them. I've only seen one of these, one of their beers here around here, and I did review that one. Most of the rest of them have been sent to me. Parrish is very generous in sending me these Hitachino Nest by Kiuchi Brewery Beers. They must be able to get a lot of them in California, where I have a very limited selection of beers here in Virginia because the beer distribution sucks. A lot of the beers go through Virginia to other states, and we don't get them. They don't stop here. They keep going. So beer distribution in this state is horrible. It really, really is. So there's no rhyme or reason for it. But I think mostly is warehouse space and shelf space in the stores where they have it. Now there are some specialty beer stores that can get some different stuff, but a lot of them come from other distributors other than the local distributors here where I live. They're more interested in the macro beers and how many of them they can sell on in the shelf space there. So when you go into the local grocery stores, I mean, it's just packed full of Budweisers, Millers, and Coors Light, and Bud Light, and all that, because they sell a bunch of that. I mean, there are just so many of those drinkers out there that drink those cheap beers just to get shit-faced. And the craft beer is getting better. I mean, it is gaining more and more shelf space. But as of right now, the big macro 3 takes up most of the shelf space in the grocery stores, unless you're going to a specialty craft beer store. And a lot of those are in high rent districts, and you pay more for those beers than you do in the grocery stores because of the rent and overhead they have to pay. So if you can find you a nice little shop that's not in a high rent district that sells craft beers, you're going to probably get some nice tasty beers, and you're not going to pay an arm and a leg for them. So that's how that works, guys. But back to this beer. It is very tasty. I enjoyed it. Parrish, thanks for sending this one to me. I'm going to give this an 8, which is an A minus. I definitely think it's an A beer. So if you can get your hands on one of these and you like the IPA, this is the English version. So it's not that in your face hoppy, piney, grapefruity. I mean, it's just a more subdued IPA. So with that being said, let's go see what Beer Advocate says on this one. They say 86, which is in the very good range. I agree it's a very good beer, and I may be a little over generous giving it the low 90. If I was to put a number on this, I would probably give it between a 91 and a 93. But I think it's that good. That's my opinion, guys. That's just what I think. Over to Rate Beer. Rate Beer says 93 overall, which I agree with 100%, and 87 in the style, which I think is just a little bit low, but definitely a decent number for the beer. Like I said, a lot of these numbers come from people that have drank this beer, and a lot of those guys, if it don't blow your hair back or your socks off, they're not super impressed. I mean, it's just got to be, the ABV's got to be off the charts, or it's got to have so much piney, hoppy taste that it makes your back of your mouth pucker up. So I think I try to judge the beers for what they are, and for an English IPA, I think this is an A beer. So with that being said, guys, if you've had this, give me some comments back, and if you see this and you like that style, pick it up and let me know what you think, guys. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, hit that like button. Let's go see what's in the fridge tomorrow. See you then.